50 years ago today, February 28th, 1975, this unassuming tunnel in the London Underground became the site of the most horrifying peacetime disaster in the London Underground's history. That morning, the Northern City Line service, which took passengers from Drayton Park to Moorgate and back, was being driven by 56-year-old Leslie Newson. His shift started at 6:40 a.m. that morning, and between 6:40 and about 8:38 a.m., they made 3 trips back and forth without incident. At the time, it was rush hour, and there were about 300 people aboard the train. The final trip started at 8:38 a.m., and 8 minutes later, the train, going at about 40 miles per hour, blew through its final stop, the Moorgate station, at full speed. The train blew through the station, into the overrun tunnel, and then into the wall at the end of the overrun tunnel at full speed. Inside the tunnel, when it collided with the wall, the first carriage seen here was crushed from about 52 feet to about 20 feet long. The first 15 seats of the carriage were in a space that was about 2 feet long. The second carriage was crushed into the back of the first carriage and then crushed into the ceiling of the tunnel by the third carriage plowing into the back of it. You can see the remains of the second carriage here has been shoved up into the top of the tunnel. Now, because this tunnel is 70 feet underground, it became incredibly difficult for rescue workers to get to individuals and to work to remove the debris to be able to rescue anyone who was still trapped inside the tunnel. In addition to that, because they were so far underground, their radios would not work, so they had to send runners up to the surface if they needed supplies. Oftentimes, their messages for supplies would end up garbled, and they would end up with things they did not need at all. In the end, 43 individuals died in the Moorgate tube crash, and approximately 74 were injured. It would take until March 4th for authorities to be able to remove enough debris to actually get to Newson's body to determine what may have happened in this crash. When he was discovered, his left hand was found near the driver's brake but not on it, and his right hand was hanging down next to the main control for the train, not in a confused, shocked position up by his head as you would expect if it was unexpected. In the end, we do not know why Newson drove this train full speed directly into a wall. There's no sign of a heart attack or stroke or anything like that in the autopsy afterward. There was alcohol found in his bloodstream afterward, but he had been there so long and decomposition had started. Alcohol comes up naturally during the decomposition process, so there's no concrete evidence that he was actually drinking, and he had plans for the rest of the day and did not seem suicidal to anyone else in his family or his coworkers. Everything seemed normal. In addition, everything seemed to be working normally on the train as they had taken the trip multiple times that morning already. This remains one of the deadliest and most confusing disasters on the London Underground to this day.